Roguelites are definitely a favorite of mine, tirelessly slaying my way through hordes of enemies, unlocking new buffs and abilities for my character while steadily building my stats to match my style, only to get hit by a stray blow and sent right back to the beginning, left only with a freshly punched hole in the wall. It's like crack. Hello, I'm GalicEnder, and while the new episode of Archives is in the works, I unfortunately got delayed by outside forces. Yeah. Don't do it. No. Ow! I didn't know he could throw that. Oh. That guy just he just gave me a new man. Like.
Yeah, I saw.
He just tossed that shit. But thankfully, a game that I've had my eyes on since its announcement released for early access, and it was so good it motivated me to make this review. Have a Nice Death was developed by Magic Design Studios, and was officially announced during the Game Awards last year. The comical animated trailer had my attention immediately, and when I saw that it was a fast-paced action roguelite, that just sealed the deal. And now it's here for early access for all to enjoy. Though I'm very excited for the game's full release, I am glad it's still in early access for the time being, as the feedback from players will help shape this game into something way better. And while it's in its current state, I do find it very fun and intuitive, but I do have my criticisms and I will explain them throughout the duration of this review. So let's grab our sights and start slashing through. Have a Nice Death has an interesting take on the afterlife. Originally, Death would go around the world collecting souls, but as time went on, the soul count was climbing higher and higher, so Death had an idea: start a corporation based on the collection of souls. And at first it went really well, but history repeats itself and now the souls are piling up again, overwhelming the overworked Death. He finds out that the company's morale is down and certain workers aren't acting as they should. So like any good boss, he loses his temper and starts a rage quest to beat his workers back into shape. This game is beautiful. Everything you see has been hand-drawn and animated extremely well. The characters are unique and charming, the areas you explore look like an office straight out of hell, and there's death puns littered throughout the entire game, which is always appreciated. All the bosses I've seen are as silly as they are intimidating, and have some great dialogue that matches the angry or lazy worker persona perfectly. And Death, as small as he is, unleashes some crazy moves that show off this game's style and skill in animation. It's like I'm playing through a cartoon I used to watch as a kid. As pretty as the world is, it does get a bit repetitive. Not that the environments are bad or anything, it's the colors. Every area I've seen uses the same teal and gray color palettes with an occasional hint of red for certain spots. It's not that it looks bad, it's just when you get to a new area, maybe change up the colors a bit, like the trash area. I see that the enemies like to spew this bright yellow goo, so why not take this toxic palette and run with it, giving the area more individuality. But that's my only complaint when it comes to the art style, and maybe it'll change as time goes on. By far, the best part about this game is the combat. The movement in the game is phenomenal, tight controls with a simple but extremely expressive combat. The way you give attacks is with directional inputs. The neutral or side attacks give a multi-hit combo that stuns at the very last hit. You can also do these commands in the air. You also have a dash that can be used anytime in the middle of your combos to get out of the way quickly. Holding up and pressing attack sends Death into a spinning spiral. While in the air, you can press down and ground pound, and holding down while pressing attack allows you to do a double hit move, spinning the scythe in both directions. And lastly, holding down the attack button unleashes a powerful charge attack. All these moves combined unlocks unlimited potential for combat. You can jump into an enemy, slash him in the air, dash over to the next one, slash him up, ground pound back down, slash them up some more. You are constantly zipping all over the place, cutting up enemies while trying not to get hit, and it's extremely satisfying. But that's not all. You also have a meter, and when it's fully charged, you can press down the left trigger and hit the attack button to unleash a devastating ultimate attack, slicing up all the enemies around you or dealing some heavy damage to a boss. Then we got the abilities. There are two types, spells and cloak attacks, and you can only hold two at a time. Spells are magic-based attacks that are usually in the form of projectiles or AoE effects. They run off your mana bar located at the top, and each spell consumed consumes a different amount of mana. My favorite would have to be the Poison Cloud and Explosion. I love dealing as much damage when I can and closing the gap quickly. Cloak attacks are different types of physical based moves, and all of them are different forms of weapons or weird cloud looking things. and they can either affect your movement, stun enemies, or deal big damage. The claw move is broken. It allows you to pull enemies to you, and it stuns them, completely negating the fact that you have to wait for certain attacks on some enemies. So if you see this, grab it. And then there's the Slaymore, and the concept of it is simple. Big sword, big range, big damage. And sometimes that's all you need. All these abilities combo with your regular scythe attacks, further extending how expressive this combat is, and there's quite a few abilities in this game to unlock, and all of them are very interesting. And the way you unlock them is simple. Every time you die, you earn a certain amount of gold ingots that reflects how well you did on your run. With these ingots, you can invest them into your abilities, unlocking them and affecting how often they spawn, making that maybe just one more run ever more enticing. Death Inc. is massive. Like, insanely massive. Every floor you explore will be covered with enemies. You have the option to move past them or slay them to add to your ingot count. But you can't avoid every conflict because you will find yourself in many mini arenas that will put your combat skills to the test. And with every area, the enemies are themed to match your surroundings, along with different movesets to keep you on your toes. Every time you get hit, you'll lose a bit of health and a bit of your max health. And the only way you can heal is by health charges dropped by enemies or healing items like coffee or other office snacks. These can also be dropped by enemies, but you can pick them both up at the shop. When you reach the end of the level, you will be hit with a choice on what floor you'd like to visit next. You have a certain number of floors to travel through before you reach the final boss, and the choice you make will change on what items you will encounter, making you strategize how you want to build up death. Solary Bank, HR, and hazardous floors focus on currency, special buffs, and healing items. You will also sometimes encounter a mini-boss floors, which if defeated will provide you with a special buff and a good amount of money. Then you have special floors like the shop and control room, that both work off Solary and the other special currency, prisms. Prisms can only be found in prism deposit rooms or are an extremely rare drop. They can be used in the shop to upgrade the quality of items you can buy, or can be used in the control room to buff your scythe and your current abilities. They can also be used to change how the scythe works by changing it to the disc scythe or multi-scythe, altering how combos and combat works by using multi-hits or long range. Every room you're faced with choosing is random, so there will be runs where you don't get either the shop or the control room, so be very aware of your abilities and how they combo with your scythe. It will be essential for your survival. And while the combat carries the overall experience of the game, with room exploration, it's a bit boring. You just kinda go right to left. Very rarely will you find an alternate path, and there's no secrets to discover. Maybe a hidden room you can find by busting down walls, or random NPCs that can change up how the rooms work would bring some more life into these floors, bringing more individuality and more fun runs. But thankfully the movement and the combat is just so fun, otherwise the game would get stale fast. The characters that make up the staff at Death Inc. are adorable, with cute designs that give me Tim Burton vibes. They all have their own personalities and fit into the world perfectly. Even the bosses have their own personas. Brad is just a slacker that worries more about chilling out and checking his Instagram rather than working. And the sludge monster, whose name I forgot while recording this, is just an angry busybody who overworks his departments. You can even find these characters interacting with one another in the main lobby or the break room, talking about the company and how Death is back to set things straight. It's like it's building its own world slowly, and I absolutely love it. Have a Nice Death is an action roguelike with a lot of personality. Playing as Death going through floor to floor, slicing up your staff while whipping your department managers back into shape is a very clever angle to view the Grim Reaper we all know and love. And while the colors and levels can get a bit stale after a while, the movement and combat are pristine and feel incredibly satisfying as you dash around releasing devastating combos on your enemies. Unlocking new abilities is very fun, as well as experimenting with different spells and cloak moves to match your playstyle, or changing it up to learn something new. The characters are charming and cute, and always have something witty to say about the game and its world. Bosses are animated beautifully and express their power perfectly, having easy to learn patterns but difficult to master counterplay, making each fight a challenging yet fun experience. Since the game is still in early access, I don't think it's fair to give it an official rating yet, but I can give it a solid recommendation, and I urge you to hop on now to see how it changes in the future. I hope the dev team continues to build upon this game because it's just filled with so much potential, and I've had so much fun with what's already been presented. So if you're looking for a fun yet interesting roguelite, please give Have a Nice Death a try. Thank you very much for watching, and I'll see you in the next episode of Archives or my next review. Hi there. Thank you for watching all the way through. That really means a lot to me. I hope you enjoyed my review on Have a Nice Death. I've actually been really excited to play this game and was very happy to see on Twitter when it was released. So yeah, this is just the end card where I go off script and just kind of talk to you guys for a little bit. Kind of a down-to-earth moment, if you will. Things are going good. The Archives episode's going well. It's just I got distracted by Elden Ring, as a lot of people have, and I've been really enjoying it. I can already say it's going to be on my top 10 list for the end of the year. Probably at the top, quick spoiler. So yeah, it's been a lot of fun. And I've been streaming it a lot too, at night. So if you have the time, I'd love it if you guys come by, say hi, and maybe watch for a little bit. You'll see me die and laugh a lot, and I'll sometimes be playing with my buddies, and we just kind of talk shit and play games. It's really chill. Yeah, that's basically all that's been going on. Archives will probably be out in the next, I'm gonna say 3 weeks. The script's about halfway done, about almost done getting all the footage. It's been going. I have a lot of ideas for it that's really gonna change up how I make videos, and I'm so excited to see how that works out. I got a brand new light for the green screen, so that's gonna help with that. I got a couple extra cameras, so we're gonna get some different angle action going in there. I've already got like a whole theme planned out. It's gonna be great. And the game is actually a pretty interesting one. Not gonna say what it is, but you know, it's gonna be really, really different. And I'm really excited to show you what it is. So yeah, be on the lookout for that. I hope to see you in some of my Elden Ring streams, or maybe when I'm playing Smash Bros. If you want to do a set, just hop in the chat, say, hey Ender, I'm gonna kick your ass, and then I'm gonna put you to the test on that. So yeah, hope you guys are having a good day so far, and thank you again for watching. Peace.